making yet another repeat performance on our show is one of our long-term residents. This is Evan. Evan, Harley, and Mr. Peabody are our 3 longest residents, all well over 200 days in their current stays, but all animals that have been adopted and returned relatively closely. So, if you're taking their cumulative stays, they've all been here with us for over a year, to a certain degree, all doing fairly well in terms of handling this stressful environment. Evan is about 6 to 7 years old, and he is one of our Terrier mixes. He is adorable, obviously. Not a stranger to treats, as we were just discussing. He's getting a little plump. So we're working on getting him out and getting him a little bit more exercise. He is a dog that's very friendly, very playful, very affectionate, but he does have a medical issue in that he has poor peripheral and nighttime vision. So he does struggle to see from certain angles and in certain lights. So for that reason, we are looking for, primarily adults, but older teens who can understand that is going to be really important. When you're walking him at night, if there's light somewhere and he sees a shadow, it makes him a little bit uncomfortable. Can't always tell what's going on. People who pull from him from the side when he doesn't know you're coming, that startles him and he kind of whips around. So just making sure he can always see you, at least initially. Once he's comfortable with you and he knows you're there, you can kind of touch him like you would any other dog. It's just really making sure that you're establishing that you're there, he knows you, and feels safe. We try our best to make sure that new people are introduced to him in a way, with someone he's familiar with, and they're really being mindful of those visionary things. He did briefly stay at my house for a weekend, and I found that when I went to bed, I put him to bed. I put him in a crate in my room, put a little nightlight by his crate, and he seemed to be fine. He slept all night, no issues, wasn't barking, wasn't upset. So, an environment that has a nice routine is probably going to be the environment that he's best suited for.
So we all know Evan loves his toys.
He does indeed, yes.
But shortly after his last appearance, he had an incident which now requires him to be supervised with toys. What happened?
So Evan started getting sick. He was losing weight. He wasn't eating. He was being very lethargic. So we tried, we were like, maybe he ate something. Somebody found he had vomited in his kennel. He had a little piece of toy in there. So we induced a little bit more vomiting. He, puked up a little bit more. But then a couple of days later, he got worse. So one of our vets did an exploratory surgery. And in total, in his intestinal tract and stomach, we found 4 pieces of squeaky toy. So while he does love them, he does have to be supervised with them. We don't know if, when he ate all of those things. It could have happened before he came into our care. It could have happened when he was briefly adopted. But regardless of when it happened, we do make sure that we supervise him now. Like when I take him out, I count all the squeakers in the toy so I know how many I have to have back. Make sure he didn't eat any of those things. When he gets close to, ripping the squeaker out, I trade him, take the squeaker out, give it back to him, and he finishes destroying the toy. So just something to be mindful of. He can still have all of his Nylabones and Jolly Balls and rope toys and things like that unsupervised. We just want to make sure that he's not going to eat any more squeakers that put his health at risk. But if you're up for the challenge of, just watching him while he does this and getting all those cuddles from him, then you can go to visitfcac.as.me.